Greetings, fellow landscape photographers and nerds. Welcome to the channel. Topic of conversation, I was recently looking on my phone and I found this video clip I had taken a few years back of a backpacking trip that I went on with my brother. It was a 4-day trip into the tropics. It was beautiful. It was intense. And during one of the mornings, I walked the coastline and I found this shot of waves crashing up against the cliffside. And it started to rain. So I took this video clip of a quirky little method that I use to practice preventative maintenance to ensure that there's not excess moisture buildup inside of my lens, which can lead to fungal growth, as well as protect the sensitive electronics of my camera body. Now, like any YouTube video that I have, there is a companion article which is linked down below, so if you really want to nerd out on this stuff, feel free to check that out. First, I'm going to show you this clip, and we're going to come back here, and I'm going to show you other cheap and effective methods to protect your gear from excess moisture buildup. Rain. It's starting to rain again. This is what I'm gonna do. I was just doing a shoot over on the cliffs over there. I'm going to take this shirt and I'm just going to wipe off the excess water wherever I can. I'm now going to take my wide brim hat and put it on my camera. It is now preventing water getting on my camera. Now you've got this really cool looking homey robot. It's walking the beach side with you. Going back to base camp. Wow, you've got this really stylish, easy way to be able to protect your gear. It's pretty. It's also pouring. All right, I'm gonna put this down and navigate the rock field. Later. So to be quite honest, preventative maintenance can be as simplistic as that, just taking your wide brim hat and putting it on top of your camera when it starts to rain. You don't really have to buy these overly expensive or heavy pieces of gear that only serve one purpose. One of my favorite pieces of gear is this ultralight sun umbrella. This is the 6 Moon Design Silver Shadow. This is designed primarily to be able to be used in hot environments when you're in exposed terrain like a desert or on top of a mountain range where you're just being bombarded by UV rays and you need to be able to either drop temperature or protect yourself from the sun. But obviously this works well for rain too. So if I'm backpacking and I see a shot that I want and it's just downpouring, I can take this, deploy it out, get my camera gear, take a shot, and not have to worry about getting excess moisture buildup in my camera gear. Now, what do you do when you want to store your camera gear? This is the Ultralight Versa. It is made entirely of Dyneema and also has weather-sealed zippers. I've written an article about this one and have talked about this previously on my channel. This is fantastic for protecting your gear against the elements. But if you're in a very humid environment or if your camera already has moisture on it and you put it back in here, how do you prevent moisture buildup then? Super simple options, one of which is desiccant packets. So desiccant packets you probably have seen anytime that you buy electronics. There's just silica packs, they're free. You can take a couple of these, put them in your camera bag, put your camera gear in there, and these will draw moisture away from anything. And then when you get back from a trip, take these, put them in your windowsill where the sun is, let them bake out. On your next trip, you can put them back in your bag and restart the process. And for at-home options, this is actually a desiccant bag as well. This isn't silica, and this is a one-time use. Moisture can be drawn through this part of the permeable bag, and then water will collect down here. So I use this actually in my gear closet. So even for backpacking gear that I don't want to get moldy or mildewy, this is an amazing option. So all of these things are really cheap and effective ways to be able to protect your camera gear at home or in the field. I think a lot of people lean too heavily on this emphasis of weather sealing. And in the world of Sony cameras, like Sony mirrorless cameras, Sony really doesn't use that nomenclature whatsoever. But as you start seeing the more expensive lenses, you will start to notice gaskets on the underside of the lens where it attaches to the camera body itself to prevent moisture from getting into where the sensor is. So there are fail-safes which are built in place, but nothing replaces the active preventative maintenance when it comes to protecting your camera gear and lenses from excess moisture buildup. Protect your investment, protect your camera gear, and utilize methods like this. They're cheap, simple, and effective. I have links for everything down below in my blog and the companion article. Feel free to check that out. While you're on the website, sign up for my newsletter. I do ultralight giveaways. Thank you folks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.